My dad borrowed my credit card to buy a fridge. Turned out to be a car. For his girlfriend. I found the bill after he ghosted me for 2 months. Now he wants me to co-sign his mortgage. There's a special kind of silence that hits when you're holding a credit card bill in your hand and realize you've just financed someone else's midlife crisis. Specifically, your dad's. I'm 31, single, work in IT, and apparently still naive enough to believe that when my father said, just for a fridge, he didn't mean a whole-ass car. For his girlfriend. Not his wife, by the way. Different lady. Younger. Tanned. Smells like essential oils and delusion. What really stings isn't just the money. It's the fact that this man ghosted me for 2 months after I asked if he'd paid it off. Like, bro, you stole from me and went full radio silence? My mom said I should be the bigger person. My uncle sent me a Dave Ramsey link. And now, get this, now my dad's reappeared asking if I'll co-sign his mortgage application. I know. I wish I was joking too. So yeah, if anyone out there's ever had to decide between revenge and just blocking your own father, welcome. I got the receipts. Literally. And this is how it all unraveled. Anyway, I should have seen it coming. Dude shows up at my apartment last spring. Sunglasses indoors, chewing gum like he's 17 again, and goes, "Hey bud, mind if I use your card real quick? The fridge is acting up and I found a deal." I was mid-call, tired, and dumbass move, handed it over. Didn't even ask which fridge, where, how much. Just nodded. Because he's my dad. And because I still had the stupid little hope that maybe this time he meant what he said. Spoiler, he didn't. Fast forward 2 weeks, no fridge, no call, no nothing. I text, he leaves me on read. I call straight to voicemail. Mom says he's busy with projects. Uncle Jerry, who always inserts himself for no reason, tells me to be patient, that your father's a man under pressure. Sure, pressure from the gym chick with a Pinterest board titled, "Manifest It." And then the statement arrives. 38 grand. From a luxury dealership. I'm sitting there microwaving lasagna, thinking, okay, maybe it's a mistake, but no, it's his name, his signature, my credit. And the best part? The note on the bill says, "Happy birthday, Babe Redheart," under the transaction. I literally dropped my fork. I found myself sitting on my couch at midnight, surrounded by 2 empty cereal bowls and the lingering scent of reheated pizza, because apparently that's how I celebrate discovering your dad funded someone else's midlife crisis. The credit card bill was still warm in my hand. $38, $400. I couldn't even parse pallets versus plates in my brain anymore. That number just stared at me, blinking like a broken auction timer. So I tried calling him. Once, then twice. The third time I texted, "Did you buy a car?" Read receipts ignored. No, nice try reply. Nothing. My patience? Kaput. Stretched thin. And all in the span of 1 weekend. Figures, right? I stared at the ceiling until 3 a.m., scrolling through forums like, how to not lose your mind when your parent racks up a luxury car in your name. Spoiler alert, there's zero help there. Just a bunch of enraged 30-somethings reminding you that adulthood apparently includes ghosting your own dad. Morning came, the sun goofy and bright, mocking me. I got dressed in the same t-shirt I'd worn yesterday because honestly, who cares? Showed up at work with the emotional weight of a small car crashing through my chest. Tried telling my coworker I spilled coffee. Sure, keep it simple, right? Lunch break. I took deep breaths in the stairwell with ketchup stains as walls. Pulled out the bill again. Couldn't keep staring at other people's stuff being bought on your account under "Happy Birthday Redheart" without feeling like someone else was laughing at your expense. Eventually I walked into the dealership, yes, the luxury car place, with this weird mixture of dread and purpose. It felt like walking into a theater where someone else had already played your part. I asked to speak to sales. They didn't want to help. They legally couldn't. But I got the finance manager instead, who met me with that oh so condescending, "How can I assist the son of Mr. I don't know his own credit history?" Look, he confirmed. Yeah, that car's totally financed under my card. He even pulled the purchase contract and pointed out the girlfriend's name in the notes. He whispered it like it was forbidden, but it didn't need lowering. I got it. He felt sorry? Kinda. But sorry couldn't reverse 6 weeks of anxiety-fueled insomnia. I left with a folder full of printouts, a head full of strategy notes, and a breaking mindset. This wasn't just about money anymore. It was about sending a message. About self-respect. That night I texted my dad. One line. "Pay this off. Now." No emoji. No please. Just now. And silence. Again. Because he doesn't get that this time, I won't wait. Not for the fridge. Not for apology. And definitely not for a mortgage cosign. 2 days later he finally called. I was in line at the pharmacy holding a bottle of generic antacids like that was gonna fix my life. His name popped up and my stomach did that thing, like, hopeful rage. Picked up, no hello, just went straight, so are you gonna fix this or what? And he hits me with, it's not that big of a deal, son. I'll take care of it eventually. Eventually. I laughed out loud. In public. Like an actual deranged person. The guy in front of me physically stepped back. Then came the kicker. He said I was overreacting and that a car is an investment. Bro, an investment? For someone who thinks car insurance is optional? I told him I'd already filed a fraud report with the bank and, oh fun fact, I'd included screenshots of his texts. His tone changed real fast. Now he was all, you'd ruin your own father's life over a misunderstanding, and I'm like, no, you ruined it. I'm just finally not cleaning up your mess. That night he had the audacity to text me a crying emoji and a link to a GoFundMe. I swear on all things sacred I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. It said, help Rob keep his home, and in the description, my name. My son cut me off after one mistake. $1,000 raised. Mostly from randoms who didn't know the truth. I reported the campaign. Then I blocked him. It's wild. You grow up thinking your parents are supposed to protect you. Mine just used me like a second wallet. I wasn't a son. I was a line of credit with legs. So after the GoFundMe stunt, I did something petty. Like, Olympic-level petty. I screen recorded the campaign, added a voiceover with facts, dates, amounts, the fridge lie, the car dealer's printout, and sent it privately to every single relative who donated. Captioned it, here's what you really funded. Aunt Donna unsent her $75 within 10 minutes. Cousin Jake replied, wait, is this real? And Grandma? She just sent me a thumbs up and a heart emoji. Respect. The fallout? Oh, it was instant. My mom texted a paragraph that started with, I'm not taking sides, but which, let's be honest, always means she picked a side. She said I embarrassed the family. That I should have handled it with grace. Ma'am, he robbed me and crowdsourced sympathy. What exactly about that deserved a soft response? I told her, respectfully, to stay in her lane. She left me on read. And the cherry on top? He tried to call again. Not to apologize, oh no. To ask if I consider reframing the story if he paid off half. Half. As if stealing $100 and offering 50 makes it okay. I told him to take his half and donate it to someone who actually needs it, like a therapist who specializes in pathological delusion. I wasn't mad anymore. I was exhausted. Just done. Done being the reliable son. The fixer. The guy who says it's okay while watching his credit score die in silence. Not anymore. The funny thing is, when I stopped answering their calls, they didn't panic, they regrouped. Strategized. Like I was some lost investor they needed to charm back to the table. First came the group chat revival. That added me to a new one, family reconnect red heart, like emojis were gonna erase a 38 grand betrayal. The first message? A selfie of him and his girlfriend at brunch with the caption, we miss you, champ. Not sorry, not let's talk. Just brunch. I left the chat before the hollandaise could finish rendering on my screen. Then came phase 2, guilt blitz. Mom texted 3 days later asking if I remembered the time Dad drove me to soccer in the rain. That was the pitch. A memory from 2006. Like I owed him luxury car forgiveness because he once had windshield wipers. I didn't reply. Not because I didn't want to, but because I was trying not to throw my phone into traffic. Then she pulled the classic. You only get one father. Which, yeah, and I got one who uses my name to play sugar daddy of the year to a woman named Tiffany with an IE and a tattoo of a hummingbird on her neck. I checked. I'm not proud of that. And somewhere in this circus, my boss noticed I wasn't okay. I mean fair. I showed up to work in 2 mismatched shoes one day and tried to expense a smoothie out of pure mental protest. She pulled me into a meeting like, hey, take a day, and I did. Sat at home, stared at the wall, then made the most fire spreadsheet of my life titled People Who Owe Me versus People I Owe. Spoiler, guess which list was longer? And you know what shocked me? I started laughing. Not out of joy, just pure disbelief. Like how the hell did I become the villain in a story where I'm the one who got robbed? It wasn't anger anymore. It was awareness. Cold, sharp clarity that my entire family ran on one unspoken rule: whoever says no first, loses. Well, guess what? I'm done losing. 2 weeks later, my cousin texts me out of nowhere, dude I haven't heard from in 3 years, unless you count that time he tagged me in a pyramid scheme. He opens with, hey bro, can we talk? I knew. I replied anyway, sure, let me guess you're here for emotional support or to sell me something? He said neither. Said my dad was really going through it and just trying to survive. Survive? With a brand new car and a girlfriend 20 years younger? Please. I told him point blank, if dad's survival means draining my life like a vampire with a checking account, he can miss me with the tears. Next day? Surprise visit. I'm brushing my teeth, vibing with a lo-fi playlist and mentally preparing to do laundry, and bam, doorbell. It's my dad, holding a gift bag like we're at a baby shower. He opens with, I thought maybe we could talk like men. Bro, you stole my identity, not my basketball. I didn't even let him in. We stood in the hallway like two dudes waiting for separate Ubers. He starts going on about how he never meant for things to go this way and the dealership told him it wouldn't affect my credit. I asked if the dealership also offered him amnesia as a bonus because that's not how cards or contracts work. Then, and I kid you not, he reaches into the gift bag and pulls out a watch. Not even new. One of those fake luxury ones from some outlet kiosk. He says, "Thought you could wear this to work. Show them you've made it." Made it? I'm living in an apartment where the shower screams like a banshee when the neighbor flushes. I told him to leave. Said it with my whole chest. And for once he did. No shouting. No guilt speech. Just left. And I sat down, put on water for pasta, and realized I wasn't sad. I wasn't even relieved. I was free. Like actually finally free. Later that night, I get a Venmo notification. $5. From my dad. Caption, "For the water." I stared at it for a full minute like, is this satire? Was I part of some hidden camera reboot of Black Mirror, Family Edition? I didn't reply. Just screenshotted it and sent it to my coworker Jeff with the caption, "Guess I'm debt-free now." Jeff replied with 10 laughing emojis and a gif of a dumpster fire. The next few days were quiet. Suspiciously quiet. You ever get that gut feeling like when your apartment's too clean and you know a roach is plotting? Yeah. That. Until I got an email from my dad's girlfriend. I'll spare you the full essay, but highlights included. He's a good man deep down, he was just trying to impress me, and my personal favorite, you need to be the bigger person. Ma'am. He used my credit like a flex card. This isn't about height. She also attached photos of them at some lake house. Real Hallmark Channel stuff. Like a visual guilt trip in JPEG form. I forwarded it to my spam folder with the subject line, "Try again." I don't know closure to people who only show up when their lifestyle's at risk. By then, I'd already filed fraud paperwork. My bank flagged the charges, froze the card, and opened a case. I even got a call from a rep who sounded genuinely horrified. She asked, "Did you authorize a down payment for a BMW X5? I said, "Only if X5 stands for X-Dad's 5th midlife crisis." She laughed. I didn't. The more I talked to people, real friends, not family spies, the more I realized how not normal this was. Like, some were shocked. Others weren't. But every person had a version of the story. A dad who borrowed rent money and never paid it back. A cousin who maxed someone's card by accident. We all had trauma spreadsheets. Mine just had a new tab now. So here's the kicker, I thought reporting the fraud would be the final boss. Like, boom, adult incomplete. Turns out, that was just level 1. A week later I get served. Actually served. Middle of a Wednesday wearing sweatpants with a hole in them and holding a half-eaten sandwich, and there's a guy at my door with a manila envelope and a look like he's done this 500 times today. It's my dad. Suing me. For emotional damages and defamation. I laughed. Like, audibly. The guy looked at me like I was unstable. Which fair? I opened it up, skimmed the legalese, and yep, he was really trying to flip this. Claiming my public smear campaign cost him his relationship, job prospects, and peace of mind. I wanted to staple a screenshot of his GoFundMe next to the lawsuit and write, was this not public? But sure, I'm the villain for not funding his side hustle life. I didn't even panic. I just called my bank, my fraud rep, and then a friend whose brother's girlfriend is a lawyer. You know that phase after heartbreak where you suddenly clean your apartment at 3 a.m. and eat nothing but rice and clarity? That was me. But legally. I pulled every receipt. Emails. Texts. Screenshots of that $5 Venmo. I made a Google Drive folder so organized it scared me. I titled it, Evidence Dad, SMH. His girlfriend? Gone. Deleted me, blocked me, vanished into whatever influencer limbo people like her retreat to when the vibes shift. No more lake house pics. No more pastel Instagram quotes. Just digital silence. I didn't even feel relief. Just this quiet disappointment that somehow still stung. Like I'd hoped for a final act of decency. Spoiler, it never came. The thing that hit hardest, though? My mom. Not the lawsuit. Not the money. Her. She called me one night, late, voice tired, and said, "I don't agree with what he did, but you didn't have to go nuclear." And I just sat there. On my kitchen floor. Like, lady? I was the nuke. Because I finally stopped absorbing the fallout. The thing is, once you stop tiptoeing around people's dysfunction, it's like they don't recognize you anymore. I started getting these texts from my aunt, the nice one, allegedly saying stuff like, "Family is forever, don't let money ruin what matters." As if I was the one who wrecked it. As if I took a credit card and bought a car for someone who posts thirst traps with captions like, "Manifesting loyalty." I stopped replying after the third message. She followed up with a Facebook post about cycles of bitterness. I left a like. No comment. Felt cleaner that way. At work, I was zoning out during a budget meeting when my coworker nudged me and whispered, "You good?" And for the first time in months I said, yeah. Weirdly, yeah. Because despite all the mess, the lawsuits, the late-night calls that made me question my own sanity, I finally knew I wasn't crazy. I was just the only one paying attention. The only one keeping the receipts. The only one who stopped pretending silence was maturity. And maybe that's the scariest part for them. Not that I spoke up, but that I didn't break after. That I still made my coffee, still walked my dog, still showed up to work and didn't spiral. I even got approved for a new card last week. Small win, huge relief. I stared at that approval email longer than I'd admit. Not because I needed more credit. Just because it meant I still had control. My name still meant something. And no one could hijack that again without me noticing. That night, I cooked dinner like a real adult. Actual vegetables, a pan that wasn't scratched to hell, a playlist that didn't auto-shuffle sad songs. Halfway through eating, my phone buzzed. It was a new number. I didn't pick up. Let it go to voicemail. I sat there, chewing slowly, letting the garlic and reality settle in. Whatever storm they were trying to drag me back into. Let it pour. I've got a roof now. So guess who finally decided to show up? My dad. Not in person, of course, that would require a spine. He sent a mutual friend to mediate. Yeah, like I'm some ancient kingdom and we're signing peace treaties over a latte. This guy rolls up to my office, unannounced, by the way, and starts with, "Look, I'm just the messenger." Always a good sign. Said my dad was open to settling things quietly, which I'm pretty sure is code for realized his lawsuit is as shaky as his employment history. Apparently, he'd reassessed the situation and decided he didn't want to escalate things further. I said cool, same here, which is why I already submitted everything to my fraud claim, my lawyer, and just for fun, a backup USB in my glove box. Never again letting this man operate like my life's some scratch-off ticket he thinks he's entitled to. The guy left pretty fast after that. Like he realized he was on the wrong side of a very badly written TV drama. I locked the door behind him and just stood there, staring at the handle like, was that real? Was that actually my life now? And you know what's wild? The relief didn't come from winning. It came from not reacting. From watching the chaos spin and choosing not to step in at this time. I didn't send the receipts to the rest of the family. I didn't respond to the bait. I just let them stew in the silence they created. Later that week, my cousin texted me asking if I'd still come to Thanksgiving. No pressure, she said. Just family. I stared at that word for a minute. Family. What even is that when the people in it treat you like a backup plan with a bank account? I texted back one word. Nope. Left it at that. The next morning, I got up early. Took a walk. Crisp air, podcast in one ear, no drama in the other. I passed a guy yelling at a parking meter and felt nothing but peace. Because I wasn't the one fixing it. Not this time. 2 days later, I'm grocery shopping, headphones in, debating between overpriced oat milk and whatever was on sale when I spot my uncle across the aisle, the one who always called me the smart one while conveniently forgetting I was also the one they drained like an ATM. He sees me, waves, starts walking over like we're about to have some wholesome sitcom moment. I consider bolting, but no, I stand there, holding a bag of frozen peas like it's a weapon. He opens with, "Your dad's been having a rough time." I deadpan. My credit score agrees. He chuckles like we're sharing an inside joke. We're not. Then he hits me with the classic, "Family's complicated, huh?" And I'm like, dude, I wasn't kidnapped. I wasn't conned by a stranger. This wasn't complicated. This was theft, lies, and zero accountability wrapped in holiday sweaters and guilt-tripping casseroles. He offers to grab coffee sometime. I nod out of politeness, and the second he rounds the corner, I leave the cart mid-aisle and walk out. Didn't even care about the oat milk anymore. That conversation, it wasn't reconciliation. It was reconnaissance. They're testing the waters, seeing if I've softened. Newsflash, I haven't. That night I stayed up way too late scrolling through old messages, voice notes, screenshots, not to wallow, but to remember. To remind myself that choosing distance wasn't cruelty. It was clarity. The only reason they're trying to inch back in is because I stopped being useful. And without my silence, their whole version of the story crumbles. Let it. Let the whole fake narrative collapse under the weight of its own spin. I'm not patching it back together. A week goes by. No word from Dad. No dramatic letters. No fake apologies with sad emojis. Radio silence. Which honestly, creeped me out more than the lawsuit. That man goes quiet the way toddlers do before chaos. Like he's plotting with crayons and gasoline. Then Sunday hits. I'm chilling on my couch, socks mismatched, watching old reruns and air-frying leftover dumplings. When my phone pings. Unknown number. I don't even flinch. By now, I treat random numbers like suspicious mushrooms. I tap it open anyway. It's a photo of my dad, smiling, with a woman who is very much not his last girlfriend, holding keys in front of what looks like a new condo. Caption, "Second chances." I had to laugh. Like what? Not a single text to me. No apology. But apparently he's reinvented himself again. Second chances? With whose money? Because it sure as hell wasn't mine this time. I stare at that photo, and instead of rage or bitterness, I just feel tired. Not the kind of tired you nap off. The kind where you finally understand someone's never gonna get it, and you stop expecting them to. And then, to add the cherry on top, my aunt messages me the same day. He's trying, you know? Maybe extend some grace. Ma'am, he sued me, used my name, wrecked my credit, bought his girlfriend a whole car. Grace? I gave that man more grace than a priest on a forgiveness bender. No one sent me casserole when my account got frozen. No one hugged me when I had to explain to my landlord why my score tanked. Now they want to act like I'm holding a grudge? Nah, I'm holding a boundary. That night I write one sentence in my notes app and just stare at it. Sometimes your peace looks like betrayal to people who only loved you when you were useful. No idea if I came up with that or subconsciously stole it from Instagram. Doesn't matter. It's mine now. So I screenshot the condo pic. File it under delusion. Turn off my phone. Turn on dumb reality TV. And let myself laugh like it doesn't still sting. Because it does. But it stings a little less when I remember I'm not waiting for a call that's never coming. I'm just done pretending one might. 2 months later, I'm at a friend's game night. Cards, cheap wine, playlists that bounce between nostalgic emo and chaotic pop. Everyone's laughing, someone's yelling about Uno rules, and for the first time in forever, I'm not mentally checking out mid-convo. I'm not scanning my phone for damage control texts or wondering what bill I forgot to pay because someone borrowed my name again. I'm just there, fully. And that alone feels like a revolution. Somewhere between rounds, someone asks if I've heard from my family lately. And before I can dodge or deflect, another friend jumps in with, "Oh, you mean the people who turned his bank account into a group project?" Everyone laughs. I do too, harder than I should, honestly. Because yeah, it's absurd. But also, it's mine. My story. My fallout. My peace. And just when I think I've escaped it for a night, boom. My phone buzzes. Text from a number I deleted but would recognize blindfolded. My dad. Just 3 words. "Can we talk?" I don't open it. I don't need to, because I already know what it'll say. Something about forgiveness. About family. Maybe even a line about missing his son. But I also know what it won't say. It won't mention the stolen card. The lies. The lawsuit. It won't take real ownership because that would mean losing the illusion that I'm the one who overreacted. That I'm the villain in his rebrand story. I put the phone down. Let it sit there like a forgotten receipt. Because here's the thing no one tells you. You don't need closure from people who only open doors to drain you. Sometimes walking away is the only apology you'll ever get. And you give it to yourself. So I lean back, sip my drink, let the laughter spill around me like armor. My team wins the final round. We toast with chips and lukewarm soda. Someone shouts rematch, and for once I don't flinch. Don't think about the inbox. Don't think about who's spiraling or sulking or planning their next guilt-ridden pitch. I just think this is what freedom looks like. It's not dramatic. It's not loud. It's quiet joy. Soft weekends. Your own name on your own bills. A dumb meme at 1 a.m. that makes you laugh till you wheeze. And if my dad ever shows up again with some sad-eyed speech about starting fresh, I'll smile. Politely. Then close the door. Update. So, plot twist I didn't see coming? He actually showed up. No warning. No call. Just a knock on my door last Sunday morning while I was mid-pancake flip and wearing a hoodie I stole from my college roommate. I opened the door and there he is, my dad, standing like some sad statue from a discount drama. Hair combed, eyes glassy, holding a single manila envelope like that's supposed to fix a year's worth of financial sabotage and emotional wreckage. I didn't say anything. Just leaned against the frame, flipping the spatula in my hand like, yeah? What's today's delusion? He starts with a sigh. That same, I'm the real victim here, sigh I grew up resenting. Says he's been doing some soul searching, which, I guess, is code for getting dumped and running out of backup wallets. Tells me he's ready to make things right. I ask, what exactly does that mean? He hesitates. Then offers to drop the lawsuit if I help him refinance his mortgage. I laughed so hard I almost dropped the spatula. I said no. Obviously. He looked genuinely confused. Like, how could I possibly still be mad? As if I'm holding some petty grudge instead of literally just refusing to sponsor his next mess. He started raising his voice, said I was turning my back on family, and I just calmly said, no. I'm setting a boundary. Try it sometime. He left. Not in a rage, not with some grand speech. Just quietly. Which honestly, hurt more. Because that's the moment I realized he's not gonna change. He's not capable of seeing the outside of what I can give. And I'm done giving. I tossed the pancakes. Appetite gone. Spent the rest of the day organizing my kitchen drawers. Therapeutic, really? Labeled things. Recycled old takeout menus. Found a wine opener I didn't know I owned. And that night, I slept like a rock. No texts. No follow-up email. No cousin calling to check in. Just me, my bed, and the slow, glorious silence of being nobody's safety net. So yeah, if you're still wondering whether to cut off the people draining you dry, let me help you out. Do it. Rip the cord. Change the locks. Hide the wine opener. And if they show up again with that look, you know the one, the but we're blood face, just smile. Offer them a pancake. Then close the damn door. Anyway, that's it. No wild revenge, no viral moment. Just me learning that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop answering the door. If anyone else out there's gone through something like this, I see you. It sucks. But you're not crazy. You're just done. And that's more than enough.